all-new G20 BMW 3 Series has just been launched here in Malaysia. Traditionally, this is the best-selling model of all BMWs in the entire world, with over 15 million units sold so far. So let's see how the new 7th generation model works out here in Malaysia. The G20 is launched here in Malaysia with just a single variant available, the 330i M Sport, and this is fully imported from Germany. Pricing is at under 330,000 ringgit, matching the badge. For now, there are no entry-level or PHEV variants available just yet, but probably they'll come in when CKD operations start. When? Let's say end of this year, that would be a good guess. Let's start with the styling, because this is a big departure for BMW. The old kidney grills have been changed into one big singular piece over here. So whereas before they were small tiny nostrils, there's now a big massive grille. This gives it a much better road presence on the road. Right next to the big grills are these really slim full LED headlamps with tiny DRL lines. What's interesting is this small little notch over here. This reminds me of my favorite 3 Series, the E46. The M Sport package is standard on all Malaysian models, and this includes this full sporty M Sport body kit as well as those multi-spoke 18-inch wheels. In typical BMW M Sport fashion, the rear tyres are wider than the ones in front, so it's 225s up front and 255s at the back, and the tyres, as usual for a BMW, are run-flat items. Another big styling change is this, a new reinterpretation of the classic BMW Hofmeister kink. Here, the line goes beyond the rear window line. From the back, you see that the car has really been beefed up with very muscular bulges covering the rear wheels. And then you've also got a very short rear overhang for that very traditional rear-wheel drive proportions. At the back, BMW's traditional L-shaped tail lamps make a very prominent appearance here. There's this very thick 3D line, and this bit on top here is smoked, fully blacked out, so it draws your eyes towards the L bit over here. And overall, it makes the whole car look lower, wider to the ground, a lot more sporty than before. Also, for the very first time on a 4-cylinder 3 Series, you now get twin tailpipes at the bottom here. Under the hood is the usual BMW 2-litre twin-power turbo engine. Here for the 330i, it's been up-tuned a little bit to make 258 horsepower and 400 Nm of torque. All that power goes to the rear wheels through a ZF 8-speeder, the best in the world, and this car goes from 0 to 100 in just 5.8 seconds. One key highlight for the BMW G20 is quite literally the key itself. You can now use your handphone as a BMW digital key, where you can just tap your phone on the door handle and use NFC to unlock the car. But unfortunately, this only works on selected Samsung Android devices. So if you use your iPhone, you can't. The interior is a massive improvement over the outgoing F30, and this is in terms of quality, look and feel, and of course design. Just look at it. I can now call it a proper premium compact sedan. The center console is slightly tilted towards the driver in the traditional BMW driver-oriented setup. Also familiar is this really fat, really thick M Sport steering wheel and the iDrive infotainment system. But now on the 3 Series, you also get the full touchscreen option. The infotainment system also includes the BMW Personal Assistant. This is basically voice commands that can control basic car functions. By default, this is activated by calling out "Hey BMW," but what's so special with this one, you can change the call out name to anything you want. So you can say, "Hey sexy blue thing, bring me home." The system also includes wireless Apple CarPlay, but for some reason not Android Auto. So you may have to use one Android phone to unlock the car and another Apple phone for CarPlay, which is just weird. Also new is the BMW Live Cockpit fully digital instrument cluster. This really gives the car a much more modern look and feel. For the build quality, this really is a big upgrade from the F30. This includes the soft touch plastics up top, even down to the plastics down below here. It's hard, of course, but that is usual for any car in this class. A particular highlight are these metallic bits in the center console, including the buttons in the middle here. There are a couple of drawbacks that I can see though. Number one, the dashboard is not covered in leather. It's not spec'd in this particular model. There's no sunroof, and the speakers are also the basic BMW Hi-Fi audio system. One change that may upset 3 Series purists is the adoption of electronic parking brake instead of your regular handbrake. But come on guys, this is lighter, it's more reliable, and it saves up space in the center console. It's also 2019 already, it's time to move on. As for the rear seats, they are really good. There's a lot of legroom, more than a comparable C-Class, and the seats themselves are very comfortable with a lot of thigh support, much better than most of its competition. In the middle here, you get rear aircon vents and individual controls. This car comes with a 3-zone climate control system. And at the bottom, you get a 12-volt socket plus 2 USB-C chargers. There's just one thing though, with no sunroof and this fully blacked out headlining, standard for M Sport of course, it can get a little bit dark and claustrophobic back here. As for safety, the G20 in Malaysia gets 6 airbags and electronic stability control, but unfortunately there is no AEB or autonomous emergency braking. You don't even get a full 360-degree camera for parking. Missing out on such key features is very unfortunate, but hopefully the locally assembled CKD models will fix these too. So what do you think of the G20? I think it does look a lot better than before, and the interior especially is much nicer than the old car. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.